Hello everyone, Thatching Day, second video update. So we've already done the 11th and penultimate winter 2017-18 update. That's on the homepage right now, and later on today it will be placed on the winter updates page as well. An extensive written report to go with that 11th winter update, as well as all the things such as ECMWF, temperature anomalies, what's happening in terms of Siberian and Russian snow cover, and everything else as well. It's a bit of a solar special, this 11th update, so I'll let you have a look at that and see what you think. It's quite an interesting update. This video is a brand new feature at GavsWeatherVids, exclusive content. We're going to have a look at the previously unseen and not publicly available ECMWF and Meteo France long-range seasonal models. For a very long time, these long-range models have been kept away from the public. They've only been available to forecast centres and meteorological forecasters. And if members of the public wanted to access these long-range models, they had to pay a huge amount of money. But a new website has been set up, the Copernicus website, as part of the ECMWF organisation. I think the European Union has involvement in this as well. And this Copernicus website is going to, from now on, be issuing publicly these long-range seasonal models from the ECMWF and also from Meteo France as well. So from now on, I will be able to include them in the season model roundups, and also I'll be able to show you the charts directly. Of course, we have been doing interpretations of the ECM seasonal model for a little while. Started doing those before last winter. We've done a few more before this winter, but they were very basic, very broad brush, just my interpretation of the charts that I'd seen, but I wasn't able to show you those charts directly. From this video onwards, you are going to witness for yourselves exactly how the ECMWF and also the Meteo France seasonal models look. So this is brand new content. We'll be looking at this every single month, these two long-range seasonal models, and they will also be forming part of the wider, broader seasonal model roundup that we're going to do. We do it at the last Sunday of every month, and we will do that actually on the last Saturday of this month for winter of 2017-18. So that'll be next week. We'll do the third and final seasonal model roundup, and these two long-range models, ECMWF and Meteo France, will be included. So, I'm on the Copernicus website right now, and this is it. You can find the link to climate.copernicus.eu on the links page at GavsWeatherVids. This is their homepage, and if we scroll down, you can see there's a lot more going on, actually, than just the seasonal models. They're also doing a lot of climate stuff as well. It's quite an interesting announcement. I'll just click that and take you through to this page. So what's happened is that the ECMWF long-range model, as well as being made publicly available for the first time, it's also had an upgrade. So they have launched, ECMWF organisation has launched their latest seasonal prediction system, which is called CS5, SEAS5, CS5, and that is forming part of the Copernicus multi-system seasonal forecast products from this month on, from November 2017. There's a little bit of a write-up there about the long-range model from the ECMWF organisation, and also when these charts are going to be published and all of that kind of thing. So have a look at that. You can say find a link to Copernicus on the links page. So as well as being publicly available for the first time, ECMWF long-range seasonal model is also a new model. It has been upgraded from its previous model. So this is brand new stuff that you are seeing here right now. So let's get on with it. We're going to start off with the ECMWF 500 millibar height anomaly for the winter of 2017-2018 from the Copernicus website and from the CS5 website. So same idea as a normal 500 millibar height anomaly. Blue is extrapolating to below average heights, yellow, orange, red extrapolating to above average heights. So in terms of the 500 millibar height anomaly for this winter, and this was generated in November, so it's bang up to date, the ECMWF is going for below average heights to be out to our west, and above average heights to be up to the east, or out to the east and the northeast. And we've got the flow coming in off the Atlantic rather like that. So it is seeing quite an unsettled winter for winter 2017-18 in terms of the 500 millibar height anomaly. This mean sea level pressure anomaly. It does look a little bit different, and if you want something colder this winter, this is a little bit more encouraging, because we have got a large area of below average heights out to the UK and also to our west, southwest as well. There's that ridge of above average heights over to the east and the northeast of Europe. And what we're doing is we're sending the flow and the jet stream on a northwest to southeast trajectory. So we're doing something like that with the flow and with the jet stream as well. So it implies that we might bring down some quite cold air at times. Perhaps we might begin to dig some coolish air into this trough from the northwest. It is Atlantic driven. It's not a desperately cold and block pattern by any means. There's a lot of low pressure around. It just means that we might pull in some colder air from the northwest to the southeast, with a northwest to southeast tracking jet stream. Temperature anomalies are coming out not all that far from average, actually. So this British Archer's here, of course. So let's change the colour on that. So generally, the temperature anomaly around the UK and much of sort of central Western Europe is coming out average to, let's say it's average to slightly above average temperature anomalies, but not a strong deviation. This is the scale at the top here. It's not a strong deviation that we're seeing there in terms of the overall temperature anomalies. And then if we have a quick look at, so let's have a quick look at the precipitation anomaly with the ECMWF as well, and that one is coming out generally on the slightly wetter average side. But again, it's not a strong signal either way, really. And given the fact that the mean sea level pressure anomaly, the anomaly just here, is going for quite low pressure to be over and to the west and into the south of the UK, you will think that actually the temperature and precipitation anomalies will be a little bit stronger, particularly the precipitation anomaly, which isn't a particularly strong signal. You would expect that perhaps to be a little bit wetter than average. Let's try and close in on that a little bit more. So let's have a look at Europe, because that's the world view. So this is how the ECMWF seasonal model is seeing Europe for this winter of 2017-18. Perhaps seeing a little bit better there now. So you can see that many western parts of Europe are actually being forecast to have slightly above average precipitation, with those pale green colours just there. Central and northeastern parts of Europe may be a little bit on the drier than average side. But again, given the mean sea level pressure anomaly that we've got there, you might expect the precipitation anomaly to be just a little bit wetter than what model is showing. I also want to close you in on the temperature anomaly as well. So let's just close in on Europe for that also. And you can see overall Europe is still looking quite warm, really, quite a warm state with the ECMWF WS seasonal model for this winter. So much of Scandinavia, for example, coming out warmer than average. Much of southern southeastern Europe coming out warmer than average. It is close to average. It's a little bit cooler out to the northwest and also some of the central parts. But the only area that is colder than average is out here in the northern part of the Atlantic Ocean. So I'll show you the sea surface temperature anomaly for this winter. The reason that the temperature anomaly is a bit colder than average in the Atlantic is because the model is predicting a bit of a cold area to be there in the northern part of the Atlantic Ocean for this winter of 2017-2018. Very interestingly, the ECMWF seasonal model is seeing quite a strong La Nina to be developing there. That massive blue cold and average sea surface temperature on is from Peru over here to Indonesia over here is the signature of La Nina, the cold event, and it is taking that cold event down quite a cold level, actually. It's going sort of 1 degree to 2 degrees below average in terms of the sea surface temperature. It's not going for a very strong La Nina event, not going under 2 degrees yeah, but that is quite a strong La Nina that the model is predicting there. So quite a strong La Nina being predicted this winter by the ECMWF seasonal model. And let's just recap. So in terms of precipitation, it's going for average just slightly above average with the rainfall. In terms of temperatures, it's going for average to probably slightly above average, but we are one of the cooler places in Europe, close to average with the temperature anomaly. It actually makes it out as no signal, so I suppose you could say there's an equal chance perhaps of being either a bit warmer or a bit cooler than average. And then in terms of mean sea level pressure anomaly, the ECMWF is placing quite a deep trough over and to the west of the UK, and it is implying a northwest to southeast tracking jet stream as well, which could bring in some cooler weather at times. That probably explains why we don't have a warmer than average warmer than average temperature anomaly being signalled there for the winter. So that's sort of the ECMWF stuff. What about Meteo France? So again, this is very exclusive content. This long-range season model was not till very recently widely available. Now you can see it along with the ECMWF season model at the Copernicus website. Again, you can find a link to all of these charts and the Copernicus website itself on the links page. This is the 500 millibar height anomaly chart for winter of 2017-18 from Meteo France, and what the model is going for this winter is it's got an area below average heights again over, but this time more centred to west and over the UK. So it is more centred over the British Isles. It's got above average heights up to our north with these orange areas just there. So there's a bit more of a blocking signal here compared to what we just saw with the ECMWF. It also has the centre of the Azores High pushed back to around here, although there is a bit of an extension of the ridge going to here. Overall, though, I think we're probably digging the jet stream a bit further southwards with this, possibly taking the jet into sort of northern parts of Europe, so into France, possibly as far south as the Bay of Biscay. That could be a slightly cooler setup, and indeed the mean sea level pressure anomaly for the winter of 2017-2018 does look quite interesting, because this places the trough centre over the top of the British Isles, and we do have a bit of a blocking signal as well over Greenland with an area of above average heights up there. That's the Azores High, looking rather weakened and displaced perhaps more to the southwest than its more typical position. I don't mean it's going far southwest of Bermuda, where you want it for a cold winter, but it is perhaps pushed a little bit further south and west than you would expect it to be. And so we could well be starting to entrench some quite cold air into that trough of low pressure, but it's centred over British Isles. It just depends how strong this area of high pressure is that model is seen with its mean sea level pressure anomaly for the winter of 2017-18. But it's not out of the question that that could start to pose some quite cold northerly winds. May start to push some quite cold northerly winds, pose some quite cold questions with that trough that's centering over British Isles and Northwest Europe. Ideally, for a cold winter, you will want that trough to be centred there across Central Europe, and then you want this ridge to be stronger, and then that would definitely start to allow cold air to entrench in from the north, possibly even from the northeast. So it's not an ideal position for the trough to be in over the British Isles. For cold winter, that would be better over Central Europe. But nevertheless, there is enough there certainly to suggest the chance of some cold weather at times through the course of this winter. This is the temperature anomaly from Meteo France seasonal model for winter of 2017-18. So it is seeing again cold and average temperatures across the northern part of the Atlantic. Many parts of Europe coming out warmer than average, actually, which is a bit surprising because in terms of the heights and the pressure, I thought it actually looked a little bit better for cold for Northern Europe, and the British Isles included, than the ECMWF. But actually, its temperature anomaly is warmer than the ECMWF temperature anomaly. Again, let's just centre in on Europe. Let's close in. And you can see what's going on here. So with Meteo France, the long-range model is predicting many parts of Europe to be coming out warmer than average. A wider area of Europe is coming out warmer than average with the Meteo France model compared to the ECMWF model. Let's just have a look at that. So that's the ECMWF model. You see the warmth is extensive for the winter of 2017-18 with the ECMWF season model, but it's not as extensive as it is with Meteo France. So a little bit warmer across the continent with Meteo France. British Isles and Ireland, however, is closer to normal. Actually, one of the cooler places in Europe. We're out of those yellow and orange colours primarily, and we are, again, having no signal, which, again, it could be, but the model is a little bit on the warmer side. It might be that a little bit on the cooler side even. It's saying no signal rather than average, which is interesting. It's not saying that temperature is going to be average. It's saying that there isn't a signal either way. Terms of precipitation, it's going for a wet winter as well. It's not really surprising because it is placing a trough right over the top of the country, so that's the precipitation signal for this winter with Meteo France. Let's close in again, have a look. I'm just playing around with this website at the moment, so I probably haven't got the video completely nailed down for you yet with everything that I want to look at. So we're just sort of trying it out, and we'll add more, maybe take some things out as we go along with these updates. But you can see that quite clearly around the British Isles, around Northwest Europe, it is going for a wetter than average signal. Notice drier than average over here. That it could be associated with that area of high pressure that the model is seeing close to Greenland. It is going for a bit of a blocking signal over Greenland. So seemingly the Meteo France model is going for generally quite a warm and also quite a wet winter in the northwest of Europe, where British Isles is close to average or has no signal for temperatures. But I still think that this mean sea level pressure anomaly is quite interesting once again. So let's try and close in on that for Europe, and you can see how the trough for Europe with mean sea level pressure anomaly is centred there over the UK. There's the above average pressure that's out there in the northern part of the Atlantic Ocean. We know that extends up towards Greenland as well. This is the northern hemisphere view, quite interestingly. So we've got the area of above average heights out there. There's the blocking signal that's over Greenland. It does extend back to northern blocking as well. That's quite interesting, with the below average heights underneath it. I think despite the temperature anomaly being warmer than the ECMWF, I think the Meteo France pressure anomaly is actually more conducive to the possibility, at least, of a cold winter for northern and western parts of Europe. And then finally, the sea surface temperature anomalies with Meteo France. So again, it is seeing this La Nina signal, quite a strong La Nina signal, maybe not quite as strong as what we have with the ECMWF seasonal model, but it is going for quite a big La Nina, quite a big cold event for this winter. In the Atlantic, it's going for a bit of a strengthening cold blob just there, significantly warmer than average in the Norwegian Sea, and then the rest of the Atlantic actually looking quite warm. So it isn't seeing a tripole for this winter. It's not seeing that three-way band of warm, cold, warm that we want to have a negative NAO. Generally, the Atlantic is quite warm, but close to Greenland, it's going for some cold sea surface temperature anomalies there. So that's our first ever look at the long-range seasonal models from the ECMWF and from Meteo France as well, covering the full winter 2017-18 forecast period. And as I said, we're going to do these updates every month, so this isn't just going to be something that's restricted and unique to sort of winter. We will do this for all the seasons as we go forward, and these updates will make up part of the seasonal model roundups that we do at the end of the month when we get to spring, summer, autumn and winter. We always do the seasonal model roundups, get all the long-range models together, and these two models will make up part of that of those seasonal model roundups as well. Right, so very new and unique content for today's second video. I hope you found it interesting and informative. Don't forget that the 11th Winter 2017-18 update is on the homepage for you right now. It's a bit of a solar special. It has lots of solar activity, plenty of analogues looking at where we are in terms of solar cycle as well. Will be placed on the winter updates and forecast page later on today with an extensive written summary. So if you want to come back and have a look at that on the winter updates page anytime, you'll be able to do that and read the written report as well. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.